playing around with dryer vaporizers, and I really like the low temp
Okay.
dabs, or the low temp rips. And like 280 is a pretty low temp.
So now for the studio audience, 280. What is it that we're doing at 280? What is this?
Not paying taxes.
Yeah, that's bingo.
So we're talking about the Fahrenheit temperature for a vaporizer, and we're like receiving the aromatherapy benefits of cannabis by vaporizing it, which means roasting it, not combusting, at a lower temp on the spectrum. So you can go all the way up to 330, potentially. Oh, yeah. So you can even go up to 445 with the Herbalizer.
Okay, for sure.
That is a NASA level dose, depending on how potent you're. Now, you don't have to use cannabis in the Herbalizer. You can use any kind of herb. I'm just using cannabis, and I don't know, at 445, I'm going to get like a really rich THC hit. Like, that's going to incinerate me.
It says uplifting on the screen.
Oh. I wonder if it changes as you raise the temps. That's interesting.
When you get higher, it's like blasted.
That'd be so funny if it said blasted. So, yeah, this is just shake from my home grow jar.
Cool.
And it smells pretty good.
This brings me back to like being in a dorm and being like, what can I do to make it not smell like weed in here?
Yeah.
And this is sort of the opposite of like, man,
Can we make it smell?
I really wish it just like smelled like weed in here.
What dorm did you live in freshman year?
Oh, shout out 17th Avenue.
Okay.
It was very new. It had recently been built. At U of M.
Sounds nice.
Yep.
17th Avenue.
It was pretty fun. What I liked about it is that the building was designed where you had to come in the front, and I lived in the back, which was literally an entire city block. So I'd come in my front door and have to walk an entire city block over to the elevators and an entire city block down to my actual unit. And I felt sort of cool. That's the first place I ever got a vaporizer taken away from me.
Oh, yeah.
Thankfully, I wasn't in the room that day, but the police did not like that I had a vaporizer sitting on my desk. And
Just a vaporizer.
Yep. It did have weed in it and around it.
Yeah.
And they also took that.
Was that the PAX?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
That's what I was going to say. This smells like PAX 1.
Oh,
My
yeah.
memories of the original PAX. I was like, oh, this and Gran Turismo for hours.
Oh, respect.
Yeah, see, I smell this in Skyrim. That's
Yeah.
The PAX was fun. I think what I like about handheld vaporizers versus tabletop vaporizers is that control element of being on the go and knowing where your temps are at. And, you know,
Yeah.
there's models and different levels to like the transparency, but I like the shape of this Herbalizer.
Yeah, well, especially these days, it looks like gold. I mean, it looks like an egg.
Oh, yeah. Oh, can we do it like this? Will that herbalize? I don't know. Probably not.
Oh, it automatically turns it off when you close it. Goes into sleep mode.
Yeah, so, you know, these guys reached out to us on Minnesota Cannabis College LinkedIn last summer, and that's not often where people reach out to us. So I didn't see their message for a little while.
I was going to say, I was like, oh, I'm so glad you checked that because I'm so glad you checked that.
But, you know, great group, small company, and these are made in Edina, which is why we had to have them on the show.
Wow. I wonder if the Edina City Council knows vapes are made just down the street. That's neat.
Yeah. Yeah, Edina dispensaries. That's going to be my...
We got vapes coming from Edina. We got humidity packs coming from Minnetonka.
Right.
Like, we got the whole cannabis industry just in our back pocket. We didn't even know.
I want to make a drink called Classic Lakes.
I like that. Only if it tastes like lake water, though.
Exactly.
I want it to be like, yeah. It's like maybe something in that, but in like a good way.
In a good way. In a terpy way.
Yeah.
Just the like algae seaweedy stuff that comes up and grabs your ankles as you're trying to swim through. Just that like essence of that.
Tanner, could you help me source some algae terps this summer?
I got you. Yeah, I can make that happen.
We'll be right back.
I actually think that's all we got. That's the end.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, all right. So we could do the wrap up thing. Right?
Sure,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, put in like MNCEE, and then we'll just fucking finish it up.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's all we got for today, guys. Another great episode. Shout out to Lauren for coming in. Always good to grab a bevy, hear her story, chat with her. Always a fun time.
Yeah, drink wink, 10 milligrams out now.
Yeah, shout out to you guys. Thanks for rocking.
Shout out to you, keeping the state, the good people of Minnesota, informed about what is happening around them. Thanks, Tanner.
And we were going to do a whole episode reading off a bunch of fake rules, really trying to like whip up a frenzy and a stir for April Fool's Day, but we didn't. So you're welcome, guys. We kept it serious.
Do you think they dropped the rules on Tuesday so that we had a full week to wait until
Absolutely.
the show
They
came out?
wait. They're like, the episode just came out. Those buzzes aren't going to record anytime soon. And we do just a couple days later. So
Hey, I had a question actually, or a thought during the episode. How much impact do you think the comments, the forum, the public comments
Great question.
had on kind of things that were maybe amended a little bit?
I mean, we saw a couple dozen changes at most in a 130-page document. I think to point to the community where more than 70% of the public comments were about that 70% cap, and to say that they had no impact would be silly. I absolutely think the people that wrote in, that dropped those comments, likely were part of that very group that impacted why that was raised to 80%.
Yep.
Which is cool.
So shout out to Tanner, shout out to Steve, shout out to everybody
you guys.
who left their perspectives and opinions.
Yeah, our buddy Toph, Green Machine, for like doing the whole online meme game. Like, I feel like it's always bad when news about the cannabis industry breaks through meme form, but they're my source.
Ivy League.
Yeah, absolutely. So many people that were going on, dropping just incredible comments, letting people know that this is not okay, and they changed it at least a little bit.
A little bit. And there's a tolerance,
Totally.
like 15%.
Yeah. So it's, we'll see what we can do.
Tanner's tolerance.
Tanner's tolerance. Yeah, we'll still get some good terps. I'm not crazy worried. And if nothing else, helps the legacy market. So, and that's all we got for today. All right, guys, truly, thank you so much for leaving those comments. Because, yeah, I think absolutely had an impact.
Episode 25.
In the books.
Next week, join us, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, super excited for that one. That's going to be an insane interview. I met him for the first time actually at a Canna Connect event. We were talking about mushrooms. He was shaking my hand in that wilderness basement. And he looked at me and goes, I got to come on your podcast and talk about mushrooms. And so, Opie, excited to talk about mushrooms with you next week.
Let's keep it going.
Yeah, but in the meantime, definitely tell a friend about Northern Lights. Definitely share with your family. It's April Fool's today. Go play a joke on someone and say, man, do you want to hear just the best podcast?
Northern Lights.
No. I'm just kidding. Yeah. No, go share Northern Lights. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, all that jazz. Drop us a LinkedIn message and we'll get to them. And if you're a fan of the show, leave us a comment, leave us a reply in the Apple Podcast, in Spotify. And thanks for listening. See y'all next week.
Peace.
Northern Lights is a Minnesota Cannabis College production. This episode was produced by me, Tanner Barris, and by Steve Eigenman and Jordan Witt. Production assistance from Marcus Harkis, Shayna Payton, and John Barty. Video and audio recording at the Dabbler Depot studio by Jordan Witt. The information provided in this podcast does not, and is not intended to, constitute legal advice, but is instead for general information purposes only. No listener should act solely on the basis of information provided without first seeking advice from their own legal counsel. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Minnesota Cannabis College. Please listen responsibly.